This week, crypto got a plot twist of titanic proportion. This is like the moment where you realize Professor Snape had been protecting Harry all along. This is like when Neo starts to see the green numbers and letters in the Matrix. This is almost as good as each and every time they bring back the McRib. That's right, ladies. Fall is here for crypto, and it's not just pumpkin spice lattes on the menu. We haven't seen a pivot like this since Ross from Friends tried to carry that couch up the stairs. This is like the moment where you realize Bruce Willis is the dead person. That's right, crypto has become a darling of Washington, D.C. in what feels like no time at all. Just a few days ago, we got word that President Biden was about to unilaterally veto a pro-crypto bill that was facing the U.S. House of Representatives. And since then, a whole lot has changed. And spoiler alert, it is extremely bullish. It's so bullish, I'm actually low-key freaking out right now. Now, this all started when Trump literally just said, if you like crypto, vote Trump. This was actually at a meetup for the NFT that he had sold a few years back, where he was talking to crypto investors who were asking him, hey, what do you think about crypto? Will you protect it, etc.? And he said, look, if you like crypto, vote Trump. I will make sure that crypto has a home in the US. And since then, the entire political landscape seemed to have shifted overnight. We saw the next day a Politico article saying that crypto was Trump's new wedge issue. And within a few hours, the Democrats started softening their stance on this piece of anti-crypto regulation, which actually has now passed through the Senate. So we now have a bill essentially restricting some of the rules that the SEC put in place against crypto. This is very good for the crypto industry. And we're going to see, is Biden going to veto this? Who knows? But it seems like it would be very politically unwise, given that the Democrats are now trying to jump the shark and see who can be the most pro-crypto all of a sudden. Like I said, having one political party support you in America is great, but having two, now that's even better. Now, I actually had to pop back in here because before we finish this video, President Biden has now announced that he will not veto the FIT21 crypto bill, which is an extremely crypto positive bill that is here facing the Congress right now. This is a huge change in stance, as the SEC's Gary Gensler is still very much against this bill. But you see Biden now realizing that he cannot fight the crypto movement and he needs to be a friend of it. And if you're wondering, is this sincere? Check this out. We actually have a statement from the administration from today saying that he is eager, the Biden administration is eager to work with Congress to build a balanced regulatory framework for digital assets. This is a complete 180. And as Adam Cochran here, notoriously very, very cynical, says this isn't just about an ETF or one vote. This is the entire change in messaging and strategy. It's hard to imagine how significant it is with both political parties flipping overnight from being hostile to completely adopting and pushing forward the crypto movement right in time for the liquidity cycle. For Bitcoin hitting all-time highs and Ethereum ETF, it's hard to imagine how silly things are about to get. But if you're not already strapped in and allocated to this market, my personal opinion is that you're missing out on the single greatest opportunity for wealth creation that we will probably see in our lifetimes. Now, the big update here is around Ethereum, because out of nowhere, we saw that the Bloomberg boys started increasing their odds from 25% of an ETH ETF approval this week to 75%. Hearing the chatter this afternoon that the SEC could be doing a 180 on this increasingly political issue. So you can see now the political pressure that started with Trump just announcing his support has bled into Congress and now has made its way all the way up to the executive branch. Just like that. Remember when I told you that crypto would be a mainstay political issue during this election? And I told you not only that, but if we go under 60K Bitcoin, it's time to back the truck up and buy everything you can. And believe me, we're going to be looking back at the last few months of content I've made and seeing exactly how things have played out. To be honest, I'm extremely proud. I think this is one of the best streaks, the most accurate streaks of content that I've ever been on in my life. And I believe strongly to the core of my soul that we are just getting started. Now, it wasn't just ETH that picked up after this, because it's not just ETH that's affected. Remember, ETH did an ICO. They started with a pre-mine group of tokens. They have a central group of people that have been building on the Ethereum protocol for many years, reaching different layers of decentralization. According to Jake Chervinsky here, if the ETF is approved, it will be a true shock to everyone I know in DC who's close to this process. But more importantly is this sentence right here. It could signal a major shift in US crypto policy after the SAB 121 vote. That's the policy we talked about that Biden threatened to veto, and perhaps more important than the ETF itself. Now, I promise you, it is actually more important than the ETF itself, because the stance of being pro-crypto or trying to be as pro-crypto as possible, will lead to incredible pieces of legislation getting passed, hopefully within the next few weeks and months, that will set up crypto to have a reliable and hospitable home right here in the biggest economy on earth. I can tell you as an American, I've actually never been happier than to see the direction of crypto right now here in my homeland. But all of this was crystallized this morning as the SEC apparently informed exchanges that it's leaning towards approving the spot Ethereum ETF, reported by Barron, and this is hot off the presses, 9:37 a.m. It's only a couple hours after that right now. So we can see that things have escalated very quickly here in ETH ETF land, and now it's looking like a completely done deal. But there's even more bills coming to Congress to directly promote the competitiveness of the United States related to the deployment, use, and applications and competitiveness of blockchain technology and other distributed ledger technology, and for other purposes. Anyway, there is even more legislation coming here. This is the moment of max opportunity for the crypto industry to force through the legislation to create solid, sound rules for builders like myself and others in this industry to rely on. And it could not have come at a better time. If we look here, remember the 65-month liquidity cycle is looking like it's just heating up. You can see here, it looks like we're just at the foothills of the new cycle, not even to this parabolic moment that we saw in early 2021, but just coming into it. And this cycle should, in theory, peak in June of 2026. All right, look, it's time to collect a little bit of cloud here. And I want you to know, I'm not just saying, hey, look, I got it right. Everybody says they got it right. Look, I'm going to show you the timestamps and how I never changed my messaging around this dip. Check this out. April 6th, right? April 6th, the prices here were over $70,000. 6th and 7th, they were 69, 68K, and they peaked up here at 71 again. And during this time, I put out a video right here where I say these 4 altcoins will 44x, watch before halving. But during the intro, I said, hey, look, it looks like we're in a consolidation. And if we come down to the 60K range, it's an absolute steal. And that's where I'd be backing the truck up. And I'm showing here Crown's analysis of the marginal cost to produce a Bitcoin. Listen, it sits around 30,000, but it's about to double up to about 60,000. So any price action that we see on Bitcoin that comes close to that $60,000 price point is probably an absolute steal. And the entire market is probably on major discount if that comes into effect. But I stuck to my guns here, even as the market came down on April 17th here, the price had come down to the low 60s here. You had seen it had already gone through this capitulation, and people were starting to call for 50s, 40s, 30s. The bear parade was in full effect. And here's exactly what I said to you on YouTube on April 17th. They're often an awesome time for people who have the stones to get amazing entries into amazing assets. And that's precisely what I believe is happening right now. But where exactly should we buy? If I had to guess, I would say that any dip under 60K would set off just crazy alarm bells for the entire crypto community, and that would probably be the big opportunity. But in my opinion, anything near 60K, the low 60Ks, where we are right now, is probably not a bad opportunity if you want to get long-term bags, which of course is my entire investing strategy. I've sold 0 coins this entire run. I'm doing exactly as I say here on this channel and holding my bags to Valhalla or to ultimate doom. So there you have it. Literally, while we were in the 70,000s, I said, if we dip down to 60 or slightly below, you need to back the truck up. Then I said, hey, I'm buying millions of dollars here in the low 60s and anything below 60. And it turns out that that was exactly the moment of max opportunity here on the dip. And while many people across the space were calling for generational top, double top, the end of the cycle, I stood firm. I dumped all the remaining stable coins and fiat I had into coins that I like, which I'll tell you exactly which ones those are right now. And I just want you to see the consistency in messaging over time throughout the cycle. Remember that I flipped bullish in March of 2023 and never once flipped bearish thereafter. I gave you my list of altcoins in October 2023, and I've consistently updated you on their performance, and I'll do so again today. So if you appreciate that level of consistency in messaging and timing and specificity on the market, then please, you know what to do. Smash that like button, share this video, because the more that we spread high quality crypto education, the more that people have a realistic and practical way to navigate this market, the more winners and the more long-term participants we can create. Let's spread the good word. And now let's get into the fun stuff, which is how are we investing going forward? So I've added a new column here, which is inflation. You see, over the last few days, we've seen a huge amount of attention on new token launches, which have mostly been down only. I'm not going to pick on any of these coins, but there are several big coins that have launched of recent, and they've almost all been slaughterhouses, meat grinders for retail new participants. sense. Now, the thing is, new token launches aren't always bad. Some can be good, but the new trend of tokens launching with like less than 10% of their tokens in circulation has led to valuations being so artificially high on the first day of trading that there's essentially no upside for retail, and you need the thing to completely crash out, and in that time, they usually lose their spark, they lose their momentum. So Kobe put out this article recently about how all the gains are being captured by private pre-sale early investors, and that's kind of true, and it's something that I absolutely hate. Even though I get to participate in it, I hate it because it makes it so hard to talk about high quality stuff on this channel, because so many of these things are being priced up in the background before they're able to be bought. And this also explains the rise of meme coins. While meme coins have their own problems, and oftentimes the supply is owned by a few whales, there's also less new supply that could just come on and nuke the market. It's a different game. In some ways, it's better. Obviously, in other ways, it's worse because the supply of meme coins just goes parabolic, something we'll talk about in just a few minutes here. But the reality is that there has to be a better way. Until the market stops launching tokens with almost no percent circulating, here's what we're gonna do. I believe the tokens that have attention, that are in the right categories, in the right narratives, they have the ability to generate excitement and attention, and they don't have huge inflation overhangs. Those are the tokens to focus on right now, because they can just grow without this huge amount of supply hitting the market. Now, I'll caveat that most of the negative impact of supply is usually if there's big investor unlocks, because those investors are typically just going to sell, and they could even sell in impolite ways, selling big amounts at once. That can really hurt the structure of a chart. However, if supply is controlled by the foundation itself that created the token, those can be used for staking rewards or other incentives, and I don't see those as toxic necessarily to the token price. In fact, they can be beneficial. So I'll separate those two, that we're looking for tokens that have had their investor unlocks complete. Not necessarily all the coins in circulation, because if most of the coins are controlled by foundation, that can actually be seen as marketing money, not just as supply overhang. So with that said, I've actually reorganized my portfolio breakdown here, and I've put in a bunch of tokens here, and I don't want to pick on anyone. I'm actually gonna get this out of the way here. I just want to focus on high quality stuff. We're here at the beginning of the next impulse, which, if it lasts until June 2026, is going to be a life-changing opportunity. Make no mistake, for anyone that's in high quality assets. And those assets like ETH, Bitcoin, Solana, Coinbase, these should be the top of your list. They should be absolutely the top of your list, because obviously they're going to be the targets of these big inflation. But as we go down the list, you really want to look at assets that fit all these check boxes. And I've picked out a few of them for you today. First and foremost, Coinbase stock. I mean, this thing got absolutely brutalized throughout the recent Bitcoin dip, but I think this thing is going so much higher, easily to new all-time highs of $500, but probably significantly higher once it reaches price discovery. Coin has been one of my #1 picks throughout the cycle. And if you're not in Coin right now, I do think that as it came down to that $200 zone and anywhere around here, I mean, what can I say except I like the stock? Now, what's crazy is what we saw once this news leaked about Ethereum, which had been absolutely the disgusting, ugly stepchild here of the crypto industry. As it was hovering about $3,000, it literally had an impulse up to what is almost, $3,800 here. It had the largest single day US dollar gain in Ethereum history yesterday. So you literally just witnessed history if you saw Ethereum's single day performance yesterday. Now, what happens is Ethereum is really treated as the harbinger of altcoin gains. So there's a whole world here of altcoins that launch on Ethereum. Yes, Solana is the new hot girl in the room, but Ethereum has traditionally been where new coins are launched. And so if Ethereum starts to take off, you have to understand, at the DEX level, at the liquidity level, most things are traded against Ethereum. So the amount of Ethereum, if that stays the same, but Ethereum goes up in value, and most tokens are still trading at 0.02 Ethereum per token, well, that 0.02 Ethereum has just leaped up. And what you'll see is all the tokens that trade against ETH, which is a significant chunk of the altcoins, will start exploding in value. Now, the first one that took a huge liking to this has been Pepe. Now, obviously, we covered Pepe really early on in this run. It is the king of the new meme coins, and you can see here that actually this has gone on to make new highs. It's the only meme coin that I know of that's at all-time highs right now from this cycle. So this is absolutely insane, this growth. And Pepe is quite literally leading the charge here. At $3 billion, it definitely deserves the next spot in line, in my opinion, to Doge. So seeing it as underperforming Shiba Inu to me is a temporary thing. And there is a lot of logic that Pepe runs up to catch Shiba Inu, which Shiba Inu is sitting at something like 10 billion right now. Let me go ahead and check. Shiba is sitting at 14 billion, right? So Pepe all the way down here at 5 billion, that should reprice itself up towards being above Shiba Inu. In my opinion, there's just no question that Shiba should be worth less than in Pepe. We'll see if the market respects that theory. But of course, there was absolutely no comparison to what we saw out of Mog, which is the little brother. Remember, I told you, Mog, I think what was the saying I saw on Twitter was Mog follows Frog. So whenever ETH pumps, we see Pepe explode, but then you also see Mog with a slightly higher percentage gains. Now, I've been telling you guys all the way since I started first mentioning Mog on this run up here, but I all the way down was saying, hey, look, this is one of the craziest meme coin communities. It's my biggest meme bag. Full disclosure, this is one of the only meme coins I've ever won big on, but here you can see the moves from the lows here. It's added almost 200 million in market cap since the lows here in the 170s. Boom, it's sitting up here at 340. What is it? Just a little bit under 340. It's almost 200 mil in market cap. It's jumped, and you can see it's totally rejected this bearish structure. So Mog definitely looks like it wants to go and sort of follow in Pepe's footsteps. You can see how Pepe had kind of the same correction here and then broke its structure, started moving back up and onwards. And we're seeing the same thing here with Mog. Again, like I said, all meme coins are extremely risky. We're just trading attention here. And at any point, these could be extreme losses. We all know the deal with meme coins, quite gambly type things. But like I've been trying to show you on this channel, I'm trying to build a thesis and share my observations with you. Let's see if me talking about Mog ages well. I don't know if it will, but trust me, my money is where my mouth is. I promise you that much. Now pause for a second. If you're here in crypto land and you're just browsing the internet without protecting yourself, you're guaranteed putting your name, your address, your entire location on lists of crypto users around the world and associating them with crypto websites. It is utterly important if you're using cryptocurrency that you also use a VPN. A VPN only costs a few dollars a month, and it is one of the easiest tools you can use to obscure your own personal information so that the websites around cryptocurrency land cannot understand who you are. What's the point of associating your crypto wallets publicly when most of the front-facing websites in crypto are not decentralized? So your data is not safe. NordVPN costs literally less than $3 per month. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and it can stop data leakage from causing incredible problems in your life. I literally use NordVPN 100% of the time I'm on my computer. It's how I stay sane, and it is one of the easiest steps that you can take to protect yourself online as a crypto user. And as I've said many times before, there are many mistakes that all crypto users can make and will be forgiven for, but not using a VPN is not one of them. It's simply so cheap and easy to protect yourself online. And if you use the link in the description of this video, you can get a big fat juicy discount. It also supports the channel and I appreciate it. So shout out to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. So to me, as ETH takes off, you want some amount. It can be a small percent, 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever is a small and insignificant part of your portfolio. You do want some exposure to meme coins, but you also, in my opinion, want exposure to gaming, which is very much so an Ethereum native trend. And as far as blue chips in gaming go, you know Immutable X is one of the absolute best proxies to the gaming space. It's still very early on in its growth here. It had a prior all-time high of, what is that? Almost $10. I would like to see it get back there, hopefully. But again, maybe a 4 to 8x is what you're going to get out of Immutable X. I do think it continues to chug its way up, though. And once again, this is something that has had its final investor unlocks very recently. So Immutable X is finally free of this incoming sell pressure each month. Again, Beam as well, very much so a highly circulating asset. You can see that the circulating supply is almost 50 billion, and the total supply here is 62 billion. So you can see it's got a significant chunk of its tokens in market. And that's why when you look back at the correction, some of these gaming tokens got absolutely obliterated, whereas other ones went through this nice slow correction and now they're working their way up, maybe a 30% or so correction. And that's what you'll want to see out of the coins that don't have crazy overhangs. I can certainly think of one that should be jumping out to your mind that has been doing almost exactly this. In the AI sector, like I said, Akash, this is a narrative. I mean, look at this chart. It's cup and handling so beautifully. You can see it. And what is this? This point of resistance here around $5, 570. That's about where it is right now, literally. And as it starts to break through that, it's got maybe one more point of resistance around $7 here. I think Akash is about to find some crazy price discovery mode. You can buy and stake Akash to my validator, the EllioTrades new validator using Kepler wallet. Certainly, this is something I've been holding and staking now for years. So to see it really take the form it's taking, I think it's awesome. And it's also one of those coins that has most of its supply circulating. You can see the circulating is 237. 237, total supply is 237. Now the max supply here being higher, I don't know whether they've burnt coins or can mint more, but I'm pretty sure Akash is almost 100% circulating. So that's why these types of coins are very, very strong holds, and they're not going to be affected by this inflation trap that everyone's complaining about. They have the utility use case as well as the meme coin-like tokenomics without that overhang. Now another token that actually is similar to this is Destra. As you can see, they have 100% of their tokens circulating in market. And I checked in with the team and they said that they launched it as a fair launch. So I believe that this is one of those tokens that has a completely circulating market cap. It's also come all the way down. It looks like it's kind of formed a bottom here. So if we don't go down and revisit the lower Bitcoin territory, this looks like it's seen its lows. I have a huge position in Destra and I hope this thing goes crazy. We first covered it here around 14 cents or so. And likewise, we have AIOZ. Again, another project that I actually covered a little bit higher than it is now. It's down a little bit from where we covered it. I think it was about 90 something cents when we covered it. But this one, again, has almost all of its supply and circulation. Exactly, it has all of its supply and circulation because this was an IDO from last cycle. And you can see the new tokens are going to do something like this, like came down like 99% and now it's coming back up. So obviously if it's able to overcome all of these obstacles, it would be very, very bullish. They have a full AI focused blockchain layer 1. And based on what's being reported here, OPSEC as well, I have a huge position in OPSEC. These guys have also almost all of their tokens circulating, 94 million out of 100 million. Again, these are the types of tokenomics, although OPSEC definitely came down. It looks like it got hit way harder than the others. Let's see if this ends up being the bottom. That could definitely be an opportunity here because even just getting back up to its prior high is almost a 3x from here. Now, big update, actually the Superverse DAO is now just Superverse. So very clean, very awesome. I know it's a random update, but it actually is super sexy to me. So just as you know, at Superverse is the official Twitter now for the artist formerly known as Superverse DAO. Now, speaking of new tokens, Superverse has officially partnered with Nyan Heroes. Now, this game is one of the best looking games I've seen. It's got this cute cat theme. It looks like Overwatch. It plays like a movement shooter. Please check it out. They have a play to airdrop campaign going right now, as well as they are integrating the Superverse token into their game. So an amazing new addition to the Superverse. Now, something I wanted to bring up here is that Nyan just had their token launch and somebody posted up a post complaining here that they're the top 30 downloaded game on Epic, Bybit launch pool, 260 mil FDV, and that it's just not bullish. And I'm saying, hey, look, crypto community, don't you want to get good low prices before the bull run on high quality projects? Now, I'm not saying that Nyan is guaranteed to go up or anything's guaranteed to go up. There's risk in every coin. But I think that having day one launches launch at extreme high values has proven to be nothing but toxic for the crypto community. Ideally, it's healthiest for the community if the project launches at a very low FDV. And that way there's actually gains that can be gotten just by buying the token on the market. You don't need to be a pre-sale investor. You really want the community to make money. So the better the game and the lower the FTV is a good thing for a community. And I've actually said this to founders. You actually want to launch with the lowest FTV possible because you want everyone who comes in and buys your token to start grinding up in gains. Even if they're slower, they'd rather some slow, steady gains than an overnight loss. And that's super healthy for building a strong and rambunctious community, is to grind out gains slowly over time and to build an absolute wild community around that. So I'm hoping that this is a trend where new tokens don't get immediately aped at multi-bill FTVs, leaving community with insanely heavy, unrealistic bags as billions of dollars in token value flow out onto the heads of their community, constantly getting dumped. No, it's much better if games begin with under 100 mil FTV or even slightly around there, and then they can work their way up to the billion or the 2 billion. And even though these numbers might sound crazy and unrealistic, I mean, crypto is just a crazy industry. So maybe $1 billion doesn't sound like a lot for you, but if it's a hot project, almost all the hot projects in crypto have $1 billion FTV. So that's just normal here in crypto land. So understanding that if you love a project, you want it to be very cheap on the market so you can grind up with the market. I think it's very healthy. And people who want to get paid back all their money on day one, I mean, that's just not healthy for the community. The final piece of alpha here is that you need to be following Superverse at Superverse on Twitter with the bell notification on here, because some of the easiest to access, least competitive, and most fun airdrops are going to be coming to the gaming space, where it's so easy easy to get in and earn these airdrops versus layer 0 and these other big airdrops that millions of bots are competing with you on, this is the place to be. So make sure you're following the Superverse Twitter. As always, I'm working hard to make sure that each and every video I put out here is of extreme quality, not just by making it fun and entertaining, but by making the quality of information unparalleled in the space. And if you agree that we're doing a good job here, like the video, comment, share it with your friends, check out this one popping up, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.